Well, hello to the first episode of the Ajna Bros podcast. My name is Project Nephilim,
My name is Mikowai.
or Scray to some. Uh,
No, I don't go by that. It's just my email and handles.
well,
I'm Miko, for anyone wondering.
I'm Jacob in that case. And, well, we've decided to start this podcast since the.
Schizo podcast.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it a schizo podcast, more like awareness podcast.
Well, I'm gonna call it Schizo podcast.
It will be considered by the normies as schizo podcast. Nonetheless, I do believe that we will, impact you in a certain way. And
In a deep way. We can
oh,
touch
of course,
places you wouldn't like to be touched in, but we will do it for the greater good of your being.
indeed. Well, with the awareness shifting in the whole world, and more people becoming interested in the occult, the esoterica, as well as all the other out there stuff for some, mysticism, for example. We've decided to make a casual podcast for those only beginning or getting into this, just as us.
Yeah, for the people 3 steps behind us. So why don't you tell us, Jacob, what is your background in your esoteric studies? Where do you come from? What is your story?
Well, that's kind of a funny thing to say because I suppose that whenever my soul has decided to come on this earth, it was already on some level initiated, as in it already chose its pathway before. And I always was, I guess you could call it spiritual. I knew that I knew more than I could say right now, as if my consciousness was already expanded to some point. And as a kid, especially when I still wasn't subjected to like the homogenization of the real world, I I was really just like searching for things out there, like trying to find things which weren't the usual. I remember as a kid, I always wondered if there are new things to explore, new continents to go on to, new how do you call it?
It's
New
okay.
point, new points to break. I always wanted to, go out there and discover a lost city or something like that. This changed afterwards when I just repressed myself, or I was repressed by the life. However, this interest in the esoteric came to, I guess you could call it an epiphany when I started like reading books, and I think like one of the best books I've read that just clicked for me was Initiates of the Flame by Manly P. Hall, and something in my mind went like, oh yeah, this is it. This is what you've been searching for, and this is, I guess you could call it where you left off. And right now, it's only reminding myself of what I already knew, and I hope that later on I'll be able to deepen my knowledge. What about you?
Well, so it's very interesting what you're talking about because even Plato told us that wisdom is not necessarily earned or learned, but rather it's remembered. It's what you already discovered in your previous lives that you were here on Earth, and you're just piercing through the veil to see what was already there inside of you. Because your soul, in a way, is connected to everything that is. Akashic records, maybe someone understands what I mean by that. You have access to that, and from that place you draw on wisdom.
So,
You
for
look
those
for
uninitiated, imagine like an Alexandrian library, which is basically like the all knowledge of the universe that one can grasp at, or their soul can grasp at on this material plane.
it would be in the astral plane, so you would have to connect with your subtle body, not your physical. And when it comes to my story, I was always deep down situations in life. Basically, my growing up was really fucking tough. When I was 10, I remember I asked my mom, well, what is the meaning of all of that? So that's a hell of a thing to say for a 10-year-old. Then, when I was like 17, I was like, fuck, I want to die so badly. It was basically like a struggle to get out of bed at all times. And what has helped me was trying to heal slowly but surely the traumas that I had. I've started to meditate, I've started to do yoga, and it kind of helped to clear in a way some tunnels that were like stiff inside of my body. You can imagine, for example, that in your glutes there is stored sadness, and in different parts of your bodies are stored different emotions. So if you do yoga, which is basically just releasing with breathing through stretches, those emotions, things start to pop up, and you have to resolve them. You have to work them out. That's what I did. It led me on a path of self-discovery, because that's like the most important thing for me. I might be too self-centered at times, but I want to just understand myself fully and make the vessel that is my body most capable of influencing the world in a positive manner. So that's like my mission that I follow. And recently, in this year, I like met one magician through Twitter, and he fucking white pilled me on magic. He basically ingrained in my mind.
Oh, actually, do
that-
we swear? I don't think we should swear. Monetization.
Why?
Well, I mean, okay, whatever. Whatever.
Well, so the only thing I would worry about is whether algorithm will like us if we swear.
Of course,
That
it will like us. We're amazing already. Okay, but continue.
Yeah, and basically he ingrained in my mind this idea that, well, you can be a magician, it's fucking real. It's like you send a letter to the Hogwarts and you discover that the school is real, that it replied back. That's basically what happened. I've started learning Kabbalah, chakras, and from that point onward, I was hooked. Now I do tarot, and I love that, because that's a perfect example of how you can use this seemingly stupid thing for white girls only to actually talk about some real deep stuff with people and influence them in a way that you would be able to without cards, but they are just like disclosure, let's say.
It's.
basically saying,
I
"Look,
believe
there are
it's like more palpable, because you're not only using like your words but also examples. And I think
Yes.
right now, especially the actions, not the words, matter the most. And
Yes.
like setting
It's
those cards.
more lunar than, for example, astrology. Astrology is called the golden key because it's very precise and you can access any information. It might not be totally accurate, so it won't say that, oh, this person will leave you at that hour at this day, but it will say that, well, some relationship might break up in this period of time, basically.
Yeah.
While tarot, by the images, it touches your subconscious mind in a different manner than astrology, for example. It like brings out of the depth of your being things that when you're, let's say, ready or trusting the diviner, the reader, you can work them out.
It's
So that's like
the most important thing in the tarot. I think it's the symbolism, because the symbols act as means of transferring so much information more than any words or even actions could. That's why, I mean, mystics or all religions in the world include some sort of a symbol, because it tells you so much. But I also wanted to like add on to your like statement that you send a letter to Hogwarts and it's like, oh, you're a magician. The thing is, everyone is a magician, but nobody like most people do not believe it, or they repress it. I found it really funny because as you discovered like Kabbalah and discovered the tarot, for me, I have discovered human design. So a system which basically helps you to not only condition yourself, but also to like live more according to your geometry of your own body and of your own spirit. And the funniest thing I think actually is that both of these things are connected and they permeate each other. It's like, well, first rule, right? Everything is connected.
Everything vibrates, everything is.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Yeah, so there is this hermetic principle for anyone unaware that basically explains that all that is from one thing, but what differs is mode and speed of vibration. So you could imagine that spirit is very high in vibration, is basically so fast that it appears to be at rest, while matter is at very slow vibration. And those are like tangible things that we can touch because the vibration slowed so down that now they appear to us as if they are of stable material, but
And yeah,
honestly, they are from the same thing the spirit is.
yeah, both the spirit and the body is the same thing. It's only the fact that we're right now experimenting, I guess you could call it that. That our spirit decided to, oh, you know what? Let's have some fun and not actually be out there, you know, in the universe, but be here on this material plane and experiment. But I wanted to maybe go to the main idea I've had today to talk about, and I'm really grateful that you did say that the spirit vibrates, because I wanted to talk about being grateful and how it actually is one of the first steps that anyone can take in order to, yeah, and should, yeah, exactly, and should in order to begin their journey of self-transformation, self-betterment, or esoteric studies. It's, well, as you
Just
said,
improve their lives.
yes, improve their lives. Yes, yes, because being grateful is first of all acknowledging that we are here for a reason, and well,
This
we've
life
been,
happens for us, not to us.
yes, yes, for us, and we are, well, the matter of fact that we are alive is a miracle in of itself. So being grateful for the simplest of things not only raises our appreciation of life, but it also is like the first step where the actual magical things start to happen.
Yes. Do you want to explain why that happens?
Well, as you said, it's mostly connected to the vibrational thing. So I've heard a great sentence, I don't know by whom, but it was a real reliable source, that a grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. And why is that?
Yes.
And
100%.
yes,
I wanted to say that.
yes. And so it's most of the fact that we are vibrating. So all humans have auras. It's located somewhere around the heart area, and we're vibrating all of the time, all of the time. It's the subconscious thing. Most people don't realize, or they aren't really attuned to themselves in order for them to feel it out. But the subconscious knows. And so, with this vibration and the way we are connected to it, the whole universe responds to the way we are right now. So, in this manner, being grateful, so by extension, raising your vibration, we attract more opportunities, more things, more knowledge, just abundance.
Yes. It puts you into a place where you're able to receive more of life, more of what it has to offer. Because if you're close to life, then you're, by definition, vibrating on a lower type of scale. There is a great image where basically there is like this slow expansion red, and there it releases to the heights of vibration. And and at the very bottom you have like shame, lust, anger, all of those nasty stuff that we fall prey to. And on the highest scale, there you have things like authenticity, love, abundance, all of that good stuff. So what is interesting to me is that the highest vibration one can experience or embody is authenticity. And it might come to you at a surprise because, well, so you mean that so you mean that if I kill people because I want to do that, then that means I'm vibrating at a very high vibration. Well, it's not the case necessarily, because if you're on that state where you reach even beyond the joy, then, well,
The bliss.
you're just fucking connected with God. And you're aligned. Like, morality is something very basic and very simple. We tend to overcomplicate it as intellect is the trickster archetype. Yet, super simple. Whenever you're fine, whenever you're good, whenever you're at peace, you don't want to harm anything. There's not even a thought in your mind about it. But whenever you're on those nasty lower vibrations, well, now you want to hurt someone.
The key to everything is love, after all. And what's the highest form of love? It is the love of God. It is the love of the universe. It is being connected to it on a spiritual level. And, well, being grateful for everything we have is the first step that we can take in order to reach those higher vibrations, in order to connect ourselves. So taking a moment every single day to stop yourself, ground yourself for a moment and think just how much you have in your own life and just how much everything that has happened to you has happened for a reason. And you wouldn't be yourself without those things. It's truly wonderful. Being
Motherfucker, you have a roof under your head when you go to sleep. You should fucking thank God for that, because that's a commodity you wouldn't be able to have without how the modern world looks, even though it is so nasty and the machine just wants to take every soul that there is to be taken.
yeah,
There
it's
is always something you can do about it, about your life. Not about the machine at present, but about your own life. This reality is about self-responsibility. If you take action in your daily life to improve it, it will improve. You have all that you need in order to change your life. It's just a matter of whether you accept it or not.
people tend to look for answers in other people, in authorities, in, well, religions, I guess you could call it, also in the celebrities. But at the end of the day, nobody is really going to live your own life. Nobody is really going to take action. And I think that's what people, well, tend to forget, is that you have your own life, and well, you bear all the scars of the battles you haven't made or you haven't experienced. So life is supposed to be lived, and you cannot live your own life without taking action and starting it. So
And saying yes to life.
yes,
Yes,
exactly.
give me more experiences.
And trust me, by saying yes, thank you for everything that I have. Yes, I want more. I want everything. I want to experience all of it, all of it, all of it. You would not believe how much it does to you, how much it calms you down, how much it just makes you more successful, how much more satisfaction you get, and how much more surprises you can encounter. It's truly wonderful. So taking a moment every single day to not only think about it, but sometimes even writing it down, or messaging that one friend that is always there and telling them thank you for being there. It just transforms you into this beacon of hope. You just shine, you shine, you shine, and you infect others with this radiance.
Yes, and it spreads like virus for real. That's also how evil spreads. So if you are dissatisfied with Well, there's only one thing to do, really. It's about changing yourself, changing how you interact with the world, and the world will follow because we get the reality we deserve. And collectively, as a species, if we choose one thing, we'll get that. If we choose another thing, we'll get another thing. That's how the whole propaganda thing operates. It's basically to strip away people from their faculties and
Making them unaware.
into lower faculties, lower vibrations, sorry, like fear, like anger. If you look at news, for example, there will be just disaster after disaster after disaster. What does it do to your being? Well, you're worried that world is going to shit, and then you will step out into the forest, listen to birds, and well, world seems to be fine. I don't know what I was worrying about. Well, that's that's how it operates. It's all about the collective dream we all participate in. So the dark architects of this reality take use of that. That is dark magic, basically. They utilize all of those tools to manifest a reality where they have more control and we have less as we are weaker. Look at America. People have guns there. Okay, so they can't outright take control there because people will just say, fuck you, I have a gun, I can protect myself.
Violence. Violence propagates more
There is a
violence.
threat of violence. And so what they do to America? They put so much bad stuff in their food, in their water, in their air.
They
in
poison
order to make
not only the minds
yes,
but also the bodies.
yes, and they do that so that people are weaker. They can't stand up for themselves. They implement all of those systems to make you weaker, make you make you so angry, honestly. But again, what can you do about it? Nothing other than focusing on your own kingdom, on your own reality, on how you vibrate, how you influence people. And this way we can bring change. If there is more love, if there is
Yes.
more abundance.
Worrying is like worshipping a problem, basically. If you worry about
Worshipping
everything,
death.
the problems will only expedite and they will only like grow more larger. So if you really want to, well, change the world, start by changing yourself, being the best version of yourself. And, well, the best version of yourself is grateful for everything they have.
Yes, and what does the magician do on the tarot card? Well, he brings the power from the above, so you might think it's God, to the below, to his garden, to his kingdom, to his reality. That's how he brings change on. He uses the force from the above to influence the reality he experiences. He brings the heaven onto the earth. He does not try to reach the heaven that is just a concept false proposed by Christianity. He makes the literal heaven within his own reality that he experiences. That is the power we all have. And hell is also real, but it is an internal state you experience once you are in the lower vibrations, once you commit sin. And what is sin? It's straying away from God. It's not doing a no-no thing. It's straying away from God. It's doing things that lower your vibration. And the things that are just not well for you, that are like self-harm. If you masturbate, it's not against God because God said so. No. All of the things that happen to you after you do that are literally like a self-harm.
I've heard this great sentence.
From your energy to strive in life. And
I've heard this great sentence that
back to the world.
the hell is not necessarily a place, it's more of a state of being. It's constant noise, constant stream of, well, unconscious. It's being constantly bombarded by the stimuli, constantly bombarded by all the things that aren't necessarily important to you. They are just a distraction from the self, a distraction from what you ought to be. And, well, the first step of quieting yourself down and bringing this, well, heaven onto earth is, well, again, being grateful, grounding yourself from this everything around you and just taking a moment to breathe in, breathe out, and just being, oh yeah, I am grateful.
Yes, yes. For that purpose, I really like silence. Recently, I've been doing more Zen-focused practice, and it's quite glorious because it's like a joyful peace that you experience once you are able to quiet your mind. It's really fantastic to just let go of thoughts, let go of thoughts, let go of thoughts until there is nothing but awareness of everything that is. And your awareness by the process becomes like more spacious. That once there is a crack in the wood of your floor, you feel like you are this crack, and at the same time you perceive this crack. It's really incredible.
Yeah. And well, with that, I think we can end this first episode. We didn't really have an agenda for this one, but in the next ones, we'll definitely have some more concrete ideas and more concrete, well, agendas. And we hope that you did enjoy it. And well, I guess we see each other on the next one.
Thank you for listening. One more thing I would like to add. Sponsored by
Not yet, not yet, not yet. But what if? We're sponsored by the universe.
No. Fuck. That might get us cancelled.
Fortunately, I can edit that.
Sponsored by Greylodge. What I mean by that? We have this group of magicians in the X. You can message me. I can add you there. We basically go over books every single week. If you would like to be a member of such a community, I can provide you that. Just message me on X. I also offer tarot readings. If you were interested, just message me again. And thank you for listening.
Well,
thank you for letting
if you're
us
plugging
laugh
yourself, I'm also going to plug my own Twitter, and I'm doing human design readings for you to decondition yourself. And with that, thank you again. And
Jakub is good at that.
yes, thank you very much. And he's really good at tarot as well. Well, and with that, we end. Thank you and goodbye.